Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome virtually to the Palais des Nations in Geneva. My name is David Chikvaidze. I'm Chef de Cabinet of the Director General of the United Nations Office at Geneva, commonly referred to by its acronym UNOG. And I have the daunting privilege of chairing the opening session of this joint conference of UNOG and the World Academy of Art and Science, Global Leadership for the 21st Century. This is the culmination of a one-year joint project to develop cross-sectoral strategies for addressing current global leadership challenges. At the outset, I wish to recognize the Director General of UNOG, our host and my boss, Ms. Tatiana Valovaya, who will shortly officially open our conference. Excuse me. It is my pleasure to also recognize the other co-chair of our conference, and without much exaggeration, truly the father of this project, President and CEO of the World Academy of Art and Science, Mr. Gary Jacobs. The second wave of COVID around the world made it impossible for Gary Jacobs to travel to Geneva, as it did for many other participants. So the entire event today and tomorrow is virtual. Let me note here that another victim of this situation is multilingualism, which we always try to uphold as a minimum with respect to the second working language of the UN, French. But it proved impossible, so the entire conference will be in English. The Director General of UNOG and the President of WAAS are pleased and honored to be joined for this opening session by two outstanding women leaders, former President of the Swiss Confederation, Ms. Micheline Calmire, and former President of Latvia, Ms. Vaida Vike Freiberga. Who better than two democratic former heads of state to project into the future the requirements for dynamic and efficient global leadership for the rest of the 21st century, and together with the Director General of UNOG and the President of the World Academy to set the tone for this conference. I would also like to warmly welcome the participants of our conference, diplomats, UN colleagues, civil society actors, journalists, members of the academic institutions, and youth representatives. Over 700 persons registered for this conference, and we look forward to your active participation. My appreciation also goes to our main partners, among them the Nizami Gyanjavi International Center, the Club of Rome, the Global Security Institute, and many, many others. We're gratified that some of the brightest minds in science, diplomacy, civic action, and other fields accepted our invitation to discuss how to fill the gaps in global leadership at this critical juncture in human history. Without taking up more time, I wish to present our first speaker, the Director General of UNOG, Undersecretary General Tatiana Valovaya. You are the first woman to occupy this position. An academic and practitioner yourself, you've been a leader in multilateralism for years. International Geneva has come to appreciate your skillful leadership of UN Geneva, facilitating diplomacy in the 21st century, while at the same time navigating us through the impact of the pandemic. No mean achievement. Director General, it's my pleasure to invite you to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, welcome to the Palais des Nations in Geneva, though virtually. It's a place where diverse expertise from all fields is gathered, where international organizations, governments, civil society, academia, and private sector closely work together, and where lots of bright ideas flourish. It is a great pleasure to co-host such a high-profile event which combines a wealth of knowledge from all disciplines. I would like to thank our numerous partners and experts whose contributions, papers, and panel discussions laid the intellectual foundation of this conference. I would like to thank our esteemed co-host, the World Academy of Art and Science, for this excellent collaboration, and personally, the President and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Gary Jacobs, and his fantastic team. The World Academy of Art and Science was founded in 1960 by outstanding scientists who wanted to harness their knowledge for the good of all and who were concerned about the devastating effects that the misuse of science could have. Academy fellows are pioneers in their fields and strong advocates for issues such as democracy and global governance, international security and peace, climate change, global health, education, and equality. Our partnership with the World Academy of Art and Science has been a long and successful one, born out of the deep desire to better utilize the findings of science to jointly address global social challenges. Our work has many overlapping areas, and it was only a logical step to let it culminate in a great project like this. When we started this project over a year ago, the task we gave ourselves and our partners was already complex: to develop global leadership strategies for social progress in the 21st century. The project is born of the complex nexus of global challenges that we are facing today: a devastating climate crisis, armed conflicts around the world, dire poverty and rampant global inequalities, deep global mistrust and trade disputes, as well as repeated attacks on the media. The seeming inability of the international community to re-engage and work together to stem these global challenges has revealed a vacuum of meaningful global leadership. And these challenges were already evident before a global pandemic swept across our planet. At that time, we could not foresee how a microscopic virus would reinforce the importance of our work. UN Secretary General Guterres evoked a powerful image when he compared the pandemic to an X-ray that laid bare existing fragilities in our societies. Global change is continuing at record speed and complexity, increasing uncertainty, especially for the most vulnerable. We are faced with urgent ecological challenges, and we are lagging behind in the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Our challenges are coupled with a dangerous retreat from multilateralism that renders conventional leadership models ineffective or even potentially obsolete. We need more active global leadership and transformative strategies for our future. The United Nations has started a global spanning discussion this year. On the occasion of our 75th anniversary, we reached out to the people through dialogues, and several of them were held in virtual and hybrid forums here in Geneva, and surveys. And we asked citizens what kind of future and what kind of the United Nations they want and need. The majority of the respondents see the value of cooperation to solve the challenges ahead of us, from global health to climate change and conflicts. An important priority for them is to rethink our social and economic system, to build a more inclusive version of it, and to rebalance the relationship between economic growth, environment, and public priorities. For the vast majority of people, solidarity, multilateralism, and international cooperation are the most important tools for this work. Today's conference, therefore, comes at an ideal time, and the result of the UN 75 initiative will be an important impulse for the ongoing discussions. The aim of the next 2 days is to go beyond assessing the status quo and to articulate active strategies for sustainable global leadership, including for the workings of the United Nations and its partners. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I am looking forward to many inspiring discussions with brilliant ideas for a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director General, for your welcome and your perspective on the synergies needed to reach our goal.